Hello loves, this is Magigoddess. Welcome to day 15 of 33 of reading for the collective, and today is going to be all about your angels. And I'm actually going to put my angels pendulum right here because that's where they want it. These are going to be the cards we use for the overall reading. I'm going to be asking 5 questions. These are some like BTS lotto cards I had written on the back of, basically mythical creatures. And for advice, we're going to be using this oracle deck right here. Alright, what messages do my angels have for my loves at this time? What messages do the angels have for loves at this time? And how can my loves better connect with their angels? How can my loves better connect with their angels? What ways do the angels communicate with my loves? In what ways do the angels communicate with my loves? There we go, not quite so glary. What energies do my loves need to let go of to be able to hear their angels more clearly at this time? Energies do my loves need to let go of to hear their angels? Thank you. And why is this angel guidance so important for my loves at this time? Thank you. That's quite a bit, isn't it? Bottom of the deck energy. We have Loch Ness Monster, unchecked power. So a lot of you have a lot of power that it's not that you haven't tapped into it, it's just that you haven't technically mastered it as of yet, and it's a work in progress. And you're transforming in order to better understand your abilities and how to use them in the best ways and to see your full potential. That's the overall energy. That's what my angels are saying to me. So the main message from your angels. If I say any of these poorly or mispronounce them, I apologize. I did not research the pronunciation when I wrote these cards. It was quite a few years ago. It wasn't tons of years ago, but it's within the last, I don't know, 5 or so years probably. Something like that. Can't remember when I made them. I probably first put them on like TikTok or YouTube, but yeah, if I mispronounce the mythical creature, I'm definitely not an expert. If you can put the correct pronunciation in a comment down below, I would appreciate that. And if you don't feel like doing it and you're kind of chill like me, you're not worried about it, cool. So we have Indrik, magical power. A confirmation about your abilities coming to light at this time. So the message from your angels is you're full of magic, you're full of power. It's just a question of how you're using it. If you needed a confirmation, there you go. Definitely matches the background energy. That was the second bottom of the deck. That's interesting. Creativity, control, salvation, golem. So learning to control it, feeling better about it, getting creative with it. So yeah, unchecked power, magical power matches up beautifully here. So very similar message to overall energy. So if you need a confirmation, there you go. How my loves can better connect with their angels. Ogre, control, exploit, devour. We have control here popping up again. So focus on what it is that you can and cannot control. Recognize when people are exploiting you, using you for their own gain, through your own abilities, through your own actions. And when people are devouring your energy, basically like when you're around someone and you feel really drained, or someone tries to possibly butter you up and say, only you can do it. I'm really getting a vibe of you. You could be this week having people try and feed your ego to get you to do more, or, they could act helpless. That's why I always say ask someone to let you finish a task. If you don't have a task, make up one. And the reason this is so important is, one, it gives you time to think about how you want to approach the scenario, because some people will purposely be like, I need it now, I want it now, I want it now, I want it now. Those people, they're not a spoiled, rotten child. And if they are, it's not on you if their parents didn't teach them that, respect others and their time. Because, if you're really that important, then they can wait. All good things come to those who wait. Sometimes the things we wait on for the longest time are the best things. And if you just give yourself, like that, and you just jump when people tell you to jump, they start expecting that all the time. So you always say, just a moment, I have something I need to finish up. You don't have to tell them what you need to finish up. If they ask you how long, you say however long it takes. If they don't like that answer, then just ask them, do you time yourself on everything you do, or are you just asking me because you feel impatient? Because I want to do things properly, not quickly. I'm a quick and efficient person, and obviously I'm good at what I do, or you wouldn't choose me to do it. If you do not like this answer, you can choose someone else. Or if you think someone is better at it than me, or quicker at it than me, that's perfectly fine. You may choose someone else. And they either accept this answer or they don't. If they start acting out or screaming or whatever, pick a task to do in front of them. And if they say that wasn't really that important, and just say, well, my time is important. And, instead of you staring over me, you could have started on the task you wanted me to do instead of wasting your time watching me. So you don't really seem like you're in a hurry, are you? And that will literally piss off a lot of people, but it's a real thing. If people have nothing better to do than to watch you, they're not busy and they're not doing anything. More than likely, it's someone who's just greedy, needy, and whiny. Take it from someone who's been there and who knows. So, if you're afraid of being that direct and you don't like confrontation, feel free to say one moment, let me go take a quick piss, or I really, really have to pee. I feel like I'm going to pee myself. And then, you know, if you want to walk to the bathroom fast, run to the bathroom fast, you can. Or you can just, you know, walk to the bathroom. I recommend walking. But if you're really anxious and you're not good with conflict, just run on over there and just give yourself like a good 5 minutes. And if they ask why you took so long, you tell them, well, I wash my hands. And I like to be thorough because a lot of people don't. And I had a lot to pee out, you know. Gotta undo everything. If you're a woman, you're like, well, I gotta sit up. First, I gotta look at the toilet and clean it up before I sit down. Or just say, you know, well, I had to clean the toilet. It was disgusting before I sat down. You know how some people are. And that's a true thing. I remember when the store would be shut down overnight that I worked at, and the toilet would be absolutely disgusting. So I would take paper towels, put it in water, put it on the toilet, put it in soap, put it on the toilet, soap it up, and then take some more paper towels and, you know, just straight up water on the toilet again, and then take some more paper towels and then proceed to dry it. And to some people, they're like, oh, you're doing this, you're doing that. Well, I'd rather do that than try and sit on a wet seat. That's just me. So take it from someone who's been there, who's done that. It is a perfectly logical and reasonable explanation. So I've given you 2 ways in order to give yourself a moment to think about the situation and think about what you're doing. And if they follow you into the bathroom for you to use the bathroom, just sit in there. Just keep sitting in there. And if they say something to you, tell them that you are pee shy and you cannot just perform for anyone. Could they possibly sing a tune or, you know, entertain you, so you're not thinking about the fact that they're literally just like creeping on you? And I'm pretty sure you could report that. You know, people stalking you into the bathroom isn't exactly something that is respectable or acceptable. In my opinion, that is predatory behavior. So no one has an excuse to follow you into the bathroom unless they have really messed up intentions. And definitely report that to someone, because chances are if they're doing it to you, they're going to do it to someone else. And just know, when you stand up for yourself against someone who is cruel or disrespectful, when they're done with you, they will pick another target, but it's not up to you to save that other person, because that person needs to figure out how to save themselves. And yeah, that's probably a really cold thing to say, but we're here to focus on ourselves. And if we spend too much time trying to save the world, we'll use up all our effort, all our energy on something that had nothing to even do with us. And we do all have to learn to fight our own battles, because there are always going to be those battles where we're completely by ourselves and there's no one that's going to be around to save us. I mean, if you want to play hero when someone is screaming at someone else, you can, but you better be ready to be hated, because I've been there, I've done that. My manager once and we got in a screaming match. She was throwing stuff at people, and I said, you do not treat people like this. I do not accept your behavior. So they went to go look at the footage, and she said, it wasn't on the cameras. And I was like, okay. And you have 5 people who wrote a report about you and your behavior. And the main manager in charge was like, can we just forget it? Can we just say it's okay? And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, you know. And the main person was like, you know, what if all you were ganging up on this person? And let me just say, this one manager did not have a good reputation whatsoever. And that's the most I'll say of it. But eventually I said, you know, instead of treating us like this, how about you start doing this? Like, we're people too. And then she started getting angrier and angrier and started screaming at me, "Yes, ma'am! Yes, ma'am!" And so she thought screaming over me was going to shut me up. And I was like, "Yeah, you look real fucking sorry right now, don't you?" Anyway, in the end, everyone just stood there while we screamed at each other. But I promise you, she didn't fuck with me again. So I just want you to know, she always was watching me, always gave me a shit look. But just know, I always looked at her like, "Don't you have something to do? Or something? I know I can do my job. I'm fully functional. That's why I'm in charge of other people. However, you're not going to sit here and demean me and my people." Did I like doing that? Hell no. Did it feel good? Hell no. Because the people who complained to me didn't stand up for me, not at all. But I stood up for them. But I didn't do it for them. I did it for myself. I did it for myself. And she still messed with them. She didn't mess with me. And do you think I stood up for them ever again? Nope. You don't sit there and tell me you have a problem and you need help and then you don't speak up not once. Okay, so you can write a complaint, but you can't say you have a problem to their face. Anything you say behind someone's back, say it to their face. Otherwise, don't say it at all. Okay? If you're too cowardly, don't bother. Anything I've ever said about someone, I've definitely said to them. So, if you're going to go be brave, be brave. If you're going to be a coward, good luck. And that might be a really cool thing to say and a really cool way to go about it, but if you're going to talk the talk, walk the walk, you know? You've got to lead by example. Everything you do is an example to someone else, whether they're older, whether they're younger. As you walk through life, people see what you do, and people will try and emulate you or make fun of you or whatever. And no matter what you do, you've got to have pride in yourself and you've got to stand tall and stand strong. So, between what the angels are saying and between my own experiences, I hope you understand why I had to be so direct. That was some really intense energy, actually. Whoever these people are, or whatever's going on, they're nasty, in my personal opinion. And I didn't even get to the other card yet. So, let's see what else. Warding off evil. Yeah. How to better connect with your angels? Sometimes you gotta kick evil's ass. I mean, if you want to put someone in their place, you don't have to call them names. But have a firm voice. Practice it. You know, if you have a really soft, timid... I naturally have a really soft voice. And this is how I normally talk. But when I want to have authority, I'm very clear and I'm very concise. And I will look at you and I will talk to you like, yes, I am directly talking to you. Period. So practice being brave, being bold, being courageous. And if someone has evil or cruel intentions towards you and you recognize it, if they're trying to control you, exploit you, devour you, just really demean you and make you feel like you don't matter, show up and show out. You know? Tell them you'll get another job or you'll find somewhere else to live, you know. You tell them money is energy, money talks, and bullshit walks, and they're full of bullshit right now. And no offense to the bulls. You know, feel free to say that. And that's really nasty to say, but if you gotta go there, you gotta go there, you know. Unfortunately, life is full of cruel people, and you know, if you gotta say something really rude, like call them bullshit. I don't really like calling people names, but like if they're always calling you names, feel free to give them a taste of their own medicine. You know, say money talks, bullshit walks, and you're full of bullshit. So I think I'm going to go find some money elsewhere, or some better energy elsewhere that's more worth my while. And, you know, there's always somewhere else that you can go. Always. Even when you think there's not, a lot of times there is. When I left my corporate job, I had a plan or whatever. I didn't know how it would go. But it worked out. You know, when you do things that are good for you, like really good for you, good for your soul, and I'm not talking about ego. The difference between ego is like name calling, being ugly to be ugly, someone just hurting your feelings. People are going to hurt your feelings. You're going to have to learn that hurt people, you know. People are going to hurt your feelings. When you do things, don't do things in your feelings, because then you become irrational. It's good to explore your feelings and express your feelings, you know, on paper. But when you have a tendency to do that in professional relationships or other relationships, I mean, if you have a partner or something, you can say, when you did this, this is how I felt. What was your intention when you said that? You know, never say, you made me feel. No one can make you feel anything without your permission. Okay? You don't have to feel anything when someone calls you names. As someone who used to be very, very sensitive to someone who's like, okay, I've got problems. You ready to tell me about yours too? Or is this just about me? Are we just about me right now? That's great. Since we're on about me, how about you put some respect on it? You know, like, people are going to try and hurt your feelings in life. So don't go through life through feelings. Don't say you made me feel this or you made me feel that, blah, 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 blah. Been there, done that. Okay. In fact, I once had a boss tell me, I don't care about your feelings. Take your feelings and leave them at the door. You have a job to do. So I learned, okay, it's not about feelings, it's about performance. Feel free to write a list of the reasons why you can't perform to someone else's expectations based on their behavior. And that can be any relationship at all. Let's say let's go with the impatient thing. Someone's very impatient with you and they're being very cruel, very demeaning, and they sit there and they insult you. You just say, you want to know why I don't perform the way you want to? I want to actually do it correctly and you just want to rush me. You're so busy over there talking. How am I supposed to even have a thought? Or how am I supposed to concentrate or focus on the task at hand when all I can hear is blah, 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 blah. Feel free to sing song at them, and it's so much more annoying, because when people realize that they can't get to your emotions or can't affect you, it really, really aggravates them that much more that you can be happy when they are miserable. If there's anything I've learned, if you're surrounded by miserable people and you're the only happy one, they'll either A, talk behind your back, or B, just tell you to your face, I can't stand how happy you are. I've had all instances. So take it from someone who definitely understands. When it comes to feelings, think about them, process them on your own time. But remember, no one can make you feel a certain way. Don't give them that satisfaction. Don't give them that power. They don't deserve your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions. Those are yours. Those are all yours. All power, all beautiful. Those kind of abilities can make or break you. Your mind makes or breaks you. So if you're let somebody else mind fucking you, then you're fucked, okay? But if you say, I refuse to let you fuck with me and fuck with my mind, then they're just shit out of luck. They're fucked, okay? And I will be honest, the more you fight, the more they'll do, but they will reach a breaking point of, I can't break this person, I'm going to ignore them, or I'm going to leave them out. And honestly, they think that they're hurting you, but you actually feel a lot better because you don't have to deal with them anymore. That's someone else's problem. So that was a lot, not gonna lie. If I triggered anyone by being aggressive or fussing or cussing, consider this, a way for you to practice. Pretend, if nothing else, I'm the person telling you off, telling you what to do, whatever. I'm here to give advice and I try to be helpful, but if you need to use this as practice, like, okay, she's talking really firmly and really loudly, I want to do that too. Or, just if that helps you practice someone talking to you in a certain tone, and you struggle with someone talking to you in a certain tone, whether you're triggered, etc., feel free to use this to help you towards your goal of not reacting just because someone wants you to. The most powerful thing you can ever do is not react to someone. But never abuse that power. Okay, if someone is being very vulnerable with you, and not in a fake way to where like they trap you. Oh, let me tell you one of my biggest secrets so you can tell me one of yours. I'm talking about someone actually in tears talking about something that really hurt them. Ask them if they need a hug or something. Just because someone tells you all their secrets, all their everything, that does not mean you have to tell them. I say that because I've dealt with a lot of manipulative, narcissistic people who would tell me things about themselves, and I would connect with them, and I would tell them things about myself, and then I would find out, they're either telling other people, which really hurt, or etc. And I just quit being personal with them, and I pretty much quit talking to them. And they'd be like, why'd you quit talking and stuff like this? And it's like, I just said, oh, well, I'm just not really that interested in you anymore. You don't have to tell them you found out anything. Sometimes they won't ask questions, sometimes they know. I had this one girl, she was so nice and friendly to me, I was so nice and friendly to her. No one ever told me this girl was saying so many awful things about me. Honestly, she was one of the more miserable people I ever met. I felt sorry for her family when she went home, because you could smell the sarcasm and the bad attitude. She never looked happy a day in her life. It made me sad because she had a really cute looking, sweet little girl, and I thought, I hope, the dad at least has some sunshine in her life, because I don't see any light in this one. And, everything you do, your kids watch and see, and they will emulate that as someone who's been there in a very toxic household. So one day someone told me, and I never talked to her again. And when she talked to me, I would just look at her. I'd say, okay. I'd just walk away. No more, hi, how are you? This, that, and the other. And what's funny is I actually trained her for her new job when I left to go move up north. So I thought it was really interesting that I really took her under my wing, and I was always really friendly, and she just shit all over that for no reason, really. Other than the fact that I was bubbly and happy, and I enjoyed what I did. Didn't make any sense to me, but I guess it made sense to her. Got along, for the most part, pretty well with everyone else. I mean, they all had their issues, as we all do. But, yeah. Just be careful who you share your most vulnerable moments with. If you can tell someone's being very open and vulnerable, offer them a hug. That doesn't mean you have to offer them yourself, your secrets, or your mental space. If there's something you truly don't feel comfortable talking about, only talk to it about a health professional until you feel okay to talk about it without, depending on how much it hurt you, without breaking down, without crying, without getting emotional. Because unfortunately, people will. villainize you or use it against you, or, tell it to everyone, and some people will make fun of you, and I really just don't want to see that happen to anyone I care about. So when you talk to people, try not to put your emotions into it. But, it is good to show care and dedication. You can still hug someone and be there for them. Because honestly, when most people are vulnerable, they're not looking for you to tell all your secrets. They just want someone to listen and someone to say, I support you when I'm sorry you went through that. And, if you're not comfortable with hugging, just say, do you need some water? Do you need a moment? Do you want a candy bar or something? Would that make you feel better? I mean, that's how I would say the best way to handle those kind of situations is. If you're like me and you say things and you don't give a damn how they twist it, that's different. But I've only really become like that because I myself have been tortured in my most vulnerable moments. I've even been blackmailed for them. So, yeah. The worst thing someone can ever do is take something and try and blackmail you for it. And that sucks. But, I've learned lessons from that. So, I say that to you not lightly. And yeah, it really fucking sucks that happened to me. But honestly, we are talking about those kinds of people. So I'm making it very real for you as someone who's been there. Okay. Now, the way your angels communicate with you. Dun, 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 dun. Mermaid, beauty, grace. Every time you feel good about yourself, every time someone gives you a compliment, know that your angels are with you. When you suddenly feel warm inside and you don't know why, that's love from heaven above. Every time you get a random compliment, and maybe that person's never complimented you and you don't know why they did, and maybe you don't feel confident, just know sometimes that's your angels trying to say, hey, chin up, you've got this. And you are beautiful. You may not feel beautiful in this moment, but you're beautiful no matter what you go through. You are the same person. If other people can't see how beautiful you are regardless of what you go through, thank goodness you do. And if you don't, you should definitely start now. Next way your angels communicate with you. There we go. I'm trying not to let it glare, really. You have Pegasus, freedom, divine communication. Every time you express yourself freely, every time you feel like, yes, I have a choice. Yes, I can do this. It's so much easier for your angels to connect with you. Maybe you get some kind of big opportunity you didn't expect and you get free reign. Whenever you feel super creative and you have all these ideas, sometimes that's your angels. You never know till you try. So anytime you feel free or beautiful, or someone gives you free reign, or someone gives you a compliment, that is your angel saying, hey, we love you. And a confirmation is divine communication, honestly. And just know the more beautiful and more free that you feel, and the more grace, the more kindness you give yourself, the easier it is for your angels to give you this love and give you more of what you already have. More grace, more kindness, more beauty. Oh, I'm beautiful no matter what I do. More freedom. I can do anything. It's funny, I'm hearing that song. Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you. No, you can. Yes, I can. No, you can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yeah, that's funny. That was cute. That was from my angels to me. So, feel free to sing that song in your head whenever you're feeling lame. We've all been there. We've all seen it. We've all had those moments, right? Now, what energies to let go of so you can be more receptive to your angels, so you can hear their messages more clearly. I heard 111, so maybe you'll be seeing 111 as a confirmation that your angels are with you. And 1111, I know that's a really powerful angel number. A lot of people associate that with twin flames, but I rather would associate it with angels, because the twin flame journey isn't really a journey I think people should focus on, because it's a really toxic and sad journey. So I flipped it around and I'm like, it's about divine connection. And instead of focusing on a twin flame, soulmate, blah, 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 I focus it on my angels love me and they're trying to say something. And whenever I see that number, I'm like, what was I thinking? What was I doing? And just pay more attention to what you were thinking or what you were doing when you heard that number or saw that number, you know? So, illusion, enchantment, fairy. See things for what they are, not what you want them to be, and don't let anybody sweet talk you, like I said before, into just doing things for them, doing all the work, putting all the effort in, and that's every relationship ever. Always make sure that whatever relationship you're in, you're getting your wants and needs met in a way that works for both of you, and it's a win-win situation, not a you versus me. Life is not supposed to be about you versus me ever. It's supposed to be you and I working together to fight for the greater good and to team up together to really show others that it's not us against each other. How will we ever survive if we're always fighting each other? We won't. We can't. We couldn't possibly. So the more we think it's not you versus I, it's supposed to be you and I. I'm hearing you and I, you and I, you and I. I don't know what that's from. But my angels like to get all sing-songy. It's cute. But see things for what they are not what you want them to be. And don't let someone enchant you or disillusion you or, kiss their freaking ass over the moon and catch you off guard just to get you to do things. Whether it be, come on, do this for me, I'll buy you something. Okay, I'd rather buy it for myself. I don't feel like doing it. I'll say that. Or like, let's say your work wants you to take in another shift. I always ask myself, would I pay myself to not do this shift, or am I willing to do this shift? I would literally do that. 9 times out of 10, most jobs I liked the job. I didn't always like the people I worked with, but I could ignore them. When you're screamed at as a child for like many, many years and then you get into the workforce, for the most part, you can ignore the yelling until they start throwing things at you. That's when I dip. That's where I'm like, I'm out. I can't do this. You're throwing stuff at me, and I promise you, if I throw stuff back, I have really good aim. I loved sports growing up. I still do. I love video games. My hand-eye coordination is great. And I might tackle you and climb up you like a little spider monkey that I am, because I'm only 5 feet. And I could jump you. So calm down. I need to calm down. And yeah, that is how I really think about it when someone throws something at me. I'm like, take a deep breath. They didn't mean it. They don't know what they're doing. And if they do, no, they don't. They don't know what they're doing. They're being stupid. No one taught them better. It's fine. It's fine. Let's leave. Let's leave. I'll literally shake uncontrollably because I'm over here trying to... I used to have really bad anger issues. I've worked on them. All that rage is still there. I just transmute it. So if you see me shake and I'm really pissed, I'm literally doing everything in my power not to just see red and come at you like a bull. It's a sad truth that I personally have, but I will always have that pent up aggression, that pent up passion, that pent up rage. And what I usually do with that rage is I work out, or, you know, I do something valuable with my time rather than whatever. But there are those moments where I'm totally caught off guard and I'm like, take a deep breath. Okay, let's count. I remember this one time, this one girl at work, she pissed me off so bad. I just kept counting over and over. I count to 10 and I'd start over. I'd count to 10 and start over. I'd count to 10 and start over. I didn't care if I looked like I was crazy because it was way better than whatever thoughts I was having in my head. Okay. So I'm proud of myself for learning how to count. And I'm proud of myself for learning to take a deep breath. So just know there are some people who have anger issues, other issues. You know, if they choose to be irresponsible with it, that's on them. As someone who's been there, who's almost punched people a whole bunch of times on accident, just because they jump scared me, or I told them, don't fucking do this, and they did this, and I'm like, I love them, don't punch them, it's bad. As someone who's literally been there and has been able to stop themselves, if you have any anger issues, if anyone else around you has anger issues, they can make a better choice. They can do better. I'm living proof of that. Okay? I'm a very emotional person, and it takes a lot for me to like simmer down. So between all the Pisces and Aries in my chart, I'm just like a hot mess. Okay. I'm typically a pretty calm person, but just now I've like trained myself well to be calm. It's taken a lot of years and a lot of effort. Yeah. And I'm really proud of myself that I was able to do that. Whether it be like, yeah, it took a lot for me to learn that, but the fact that I recognized that I had a problem and that I still have problems and I'm not ashamed of myself, I couldn't be any prouder, because I used to be really ashamed of myself and I used to really just say I'm a terrible person. And now I'm just like, instead of using all my effort and energy and just saying I'm a terrible person, how about I use that effort and energy into saying I can be a better person? That's the difference. Do you want to be a better person? Yes. Then put all your effort and energy into being better, not harping on yourself, not being cruel to yourself. Been there, you know, I've been there. I've had all kinds of stupid struggles that are way ridiculous. I think I've gone through lifetimes of struggle, not just within myself, but just the situations I've been in. And it's insane. I feel like I've lived lifetime and lifetime over, and I've been reborn and come back again, and it's a really insane and intense experience, my life. And I'm only 34 and I'm still going, so who knows what else I'm going to do. But my life has personally been very surprising. So yeah, don't let anybody mess with you without your permission. Basically, if you give them permission, that's on you. But other than that, just always ask for clarity. There's nothing wrong with that. Always choose relationships where there's transparency. You know, they don't hide anything. They're not about lying, because that's not actual communication. That means that they're trying to cover up something they're ashamed of, or they feel like they'll be judged. When someone blatantly lies to you or only tells you a half-truth or whatever, just know it's to cover up their shame, not to screw you over. So when people do things to you, don't take it personal, because everyone has their own struggles, their own issues. Okay. As someone who has my own struggles and issues, and I'm not ashamed to admit them, I'm not afraid, I'll be open and honest. I'll say, yeah, I have rage problems. But, you know, instead of focusing on that, I focus on what can I do to help me with those problems. You know, that passion, that spirit, that let's go, 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 go energy is always going to be there. It's just, what am I doing with it? You know, what can you do? Focus on what you can do, not what you can't. And remember, you can always say I can before you sit there and think about all the reasons that you can't. And once you do it, you know, you feel so much better than like dreading it, really. Really and truly. Next, we have torture, fear. So maybe I described some of the situations that I've been through because, yes, I've had a lot of people who would torture me and tried to get me to be in fear of them. I have learned that the only thing to fear is fear itself and your own mind, really. And I'm not afraid of death because there's no point in being afraid of death. Death is inevitable one day. You just need to accept it when your time comes and say, okay, my angels, take me away. You know, a lot of people avoid topics like that, but I don't. I've had a lot of death in my life. I've had a lot of life in my life. And I appreciate both. To really understand both is to really appreciate both. And, you know, no one can torture you if you don't let them get to you. No one can let you live in fear if you don't allow them to let you be in fear. Like I said, your emotions, your thoughts, your feelings, that's all your business. You can write it on paper and you can tear it up and you can burn it. Anytime I struggle with something, I'll write it down. I'll ask myself why I'm struggling with it. I'll really get nitty gritty and be really honest. And then I rip it apart and I say, I'm separating from this. I'm no longer bothered by this. This is it for me. I'm done with this. I've learned. I'm throwing it away. And I literally throw the papers away. Some people like burning them as like a ritual or whatever, but I just rip it apart so I can be done with it. And I just feel so much better. If you're someone who struggles to psychoanalyze yourself, which you pretty much have to really be interested in psychology. Ever since I was little, I loved Carl Jung. In elementary school, I wrote a paper about him. He's so cool because he mixes psychology, practical stuff, with spirituality, spiritual stuff. He was like one of the first few inventors of that. And I am very spiritual, practical person. And I never realized that he would have such a, maybe a subconscious impact, or that I would come back full circle now that I'm 34, being spiritual, being practical. And it's so cool that in elementary school, I just happened to get his name for an assignment to write about him. And he's always been my favorite in that field. So just really imaginative and open about possibilities. And he really created a lot through that. So be imaginative and be practical and see where it takes you. If you go to a psychiatrist or a psychologist, the difference between psychology and psychiatry is psychology, typically they don't really believe in medication. Whereas in psychiatry, they have a tendency to just write you a prescription. I once went to an internal medicine doctor who would write me prescriptions for my depression, things like that. I figured out that it didn't matter how many different kinds of prescriptions I tried. They didn't help me. They just made me feel like I wasn't me. And sometimes I'd feel dead inside. Sometimes I'd get sent home from work because I was acting strange and I couldn't help that. So, you know, if you find that, you know, you go to a professional and it's not helpful, go to another one, go to another one. And don't let your experience with a past professional affect your thoughts like, oh, this probably isn't going to help. Because if you think, oh, this isn't going to help, guess what? It's not. Because you've already told yourself it's not. So you're not open, you're not receptive. I went through different forms of help till I finally found a trauma specialist who dealt with kids and adults, and she helped me so much. I even had at one point a psychiatrist ask me what was wrong with me. And I was like, if I knew that, why would I be here? And I didn't want to get help for a really long time after that experience. I don't believe he's in practice anymore. I think he retired, but worst man I ever went to see in my whole life. I mean, just, what is wrong with you? Why would you say that to someone who literally just said all these traumatic, messed up things just for you to say, so what's wrong with you? I don't know, all this trauma I'm holding on to, could maybe you, I don't know, tell me what's wrong with me, because I don't know, I'm depressed from it, I can't sleep, I feel messed up, like. And then I went to different doctors. Like I said, tried internal medicine, tried different medications, tried different doctors. But you know what I found helped me the most was cognitive behavioral therapy. That's why I recommend it to everyone. It's where you literally write down what you do, when you do it, and then the next day I recommend looking at what you did and asking yourself, why did I do that? And you do this every single day for a week. You do this every single day for a month. See what patterns you have that are good for you, what patterns are bad for you. It's where you literally look at everything you do and analyze yourself in a way that's very black and white and very helpful. And if you still struggle, go to a professional and say, okay, this is what I do every day. This is what I wrote down. This is why I think I did it, but I don't understand it. Do you think you could help me with this? If you can literally hand those kind of papers over to a professional, they could definitely give you a diagnosis. They could definitely tell you what's up. You don't have to take medication. You don't have to struggle, Some people do have to take medication. Don't get me wrong. Some people have certain brain imbalances or psychotic episodes to where they need medication or they cannot function. Don't get me wrong. I've had family members like that. But as someone myself who just really went through a lot of trauma, was still going through a lot of trauma, and just really didn't understand myself, perhaps maybe you live in fear of yourself and you torture yourself because that's what you were taught. I know that's what I was taught, so I didn't want to understand myself. I didn't try. There were a lot of things I looked past, but to this day, I can look at myself and see who I really am, and that takes a lot. And it's not your job to look at someone else and tell them who they really are, and it's no one else's job to tell you who you really are, because only you really know, deep down inside. Now, the things you have to do to unlock that, you could try hypnotism, but you have to be susceptible to it. Some people cannot be hypnotized. It's a real thing. But I've done all kinds of different various methods. But for me personally, cognitive behavioral therapy, I didn't recognize all the things that I was doing throughout the day and why I was doing them until I really looked at it on paper. And I was like, wow, I noticed that I only give myself like 3 hours of sleep. Do I really do that? Yeah, because I keep myself busy. And I'm like, okay, well, let's make sure that we schedule from this time to this time. And I did that. It was really helpful. Sometimes you are just so stuck in emotion of doing the same thing every single day and you plan nothing. That you just get stuck in habits, and maybe you don't always recognize those habits. Like some people play with their hair and they don't know it. Some people have certain tics and maybe they don't know why. You might recognize that, okay, I get a tic every time someone talks about this topic, or I get a tic or whatever whenever I have social anxiety. I don't like being around people. Maybe I'm an introvert, or maybe I'm shy, or maybe I just had a really bad experience back when I was, 4 or something, where all the kids picked on me and made fun of me. I think for me, the worst thing that's ever happened for me in a room full of people is in elementary school. This little boy didn't like me, and he kept slamming my head against a chair, and the teacher didn't help me. No one helped me, but my mom helped me, so that was cool. Thankfully, it didn't really damage my brain too much, obviously, or I wouldn't be functioning quite as well as I am. But it definitely took a toll on me. It definitely, like, I was already not, when it came to school, a lot of times I was bullied at school, I was bullied at home. So for a long time I really struggled with people. If you're an asshole, I'm gonna be real with you. We struggle. We're gonna struggle. It's gonna be a struggle bus. I'm bullheaded and I'm stubborn as fuck. So just know you cannot get through this brick wall. You scream at me, I might scream at you. I don't know. It depends on how you come at me. But as someone who went from a victim to a victor, you can do it too. Don't let anybody stop you from being you. I didn't, you know, and that was my experience. Was it pre-K or kindergarten? I don't know, but thankfully, I barely remember any of it because it was very traumatizing. I remember a little bit of it. I remember having my head slammed. I remember not knowing why. But yeah. Turns out that kid had his own issues at home or whatever. The only difference is I didn't take mine out on anyone. And then eventually I had so many people take it out on me. I took it out on them. And, you know, I had to relearn how to be soft, how to be kind, how to be sweet, even when someone's being cruel. And that is one of the hardest effing lessons to learn, let me tell you. To just walk away and not want revenge and just say, I want you to be happy. And I'm sorry it didn't work out. Anytime I leave someone in my life, I hope you're happy. Because when I was with you, you weren't. I could never make you happy. So I really hope you're happy now. That's why I left, so you could be happy. Because if something doesn't work, it doesn't work. And it's not going to. And that is one of the hardest truths to admit, but it's a real thing. It's like that song, I Can't Make You Love Me. I can't make you love me. I think that's how it goes. Something like that. Next, we have power, good fortune, strength. I was going to say dragon, and then I was going to say strength, and I said drink. Maybe I'll drink some water. I think I will, actually, because I just thought drink. Oh, let's have a drink of water. So cheers in this moment. I bless this water, and I'm grateful that it nourishes my body. Thank you. I'm grateful. Mucho delicioso. Okay. Power. You always have the power to choose. Good fortune. If you believe you're lucky, you'll become luckier. If you always say, I'm never lucky, I'm never this, I'm never that, guess what? You've trained your brain, I'll never be this, I'll never be that, and you believe it. Oh my goodness. Always say I am rather than I'm not, unless it's a negative. Always turn a negative into a positive. Instead of saying I don't have this, say I am grateful one day I will have this. And guess what? You're training your brain. One day you're going to have it. One day you're going to have it. And one day you will. But you have to be patient. Because it's not going to happen just like that. You know, boom, just like that. We would love it if we could say, I wish for $1 million. And the bucks just rain on all of us. You know, we'd all be rich. Rich bitch. But I am very rich bitch. I think that's from Real Housewives of Atlanta or something. I'll never forget that line. It was so funny. It became such a big meme. But I think that's what it's from. Strength. You always have the strength, even when you think you don't. And I know this for a fact. When I gave up on myself for life and wanted to take it myself, after enough tries, I just kept going anyway. And one day I found strength. I realized I had strength all along. I was just trying to choose a way out that I thought was easier. But I learned that it's so much easier to encourage myself versus discourage myself. I learned that when I'm kind to myself and I'm like, even through the hard times, even when I feel like crap, I'll put on makeup and make myself look pretty. And every time I look in the mirror, it's like, yeah, you feel like crap, but you look pretty. I say that. And it will like make me emotional and bring me to tears. but in a good way, not in a bad way. Instead of thinking, I look like crap, I look like crap. Hey, go look in the mirror. Your makeup looks pretty. And if you don't do makeup, by makeup, I mean just like some mascara and some good lipstick goes a long way, okay, for men or for women. For men, your eyelashes be looking on fleek, be bringing out your eyes. I don't care how straight you are, okay, put some mascara on your eyelashes and don't see if women say, oh my god, your eyelashes are so beautiful. You can do it in a way that looks natural, or just put on some tinted lip balm, girls or guys. Doesn't matter if you're androgynous, whatever sex. Those two go a long way. Those instantly make you a billion times prettier, and it takes less than like 15 minutes. If you just do this, you will glow up immediately. I don't care how crappy you feel, how crappy you look. You're like, wow, your eyelashes look nice. It brings out your eyes. Your lips look nice. Your lips look moisturized. They look good. They look delicious. Like, small things like that can turn your whole day around. Now, I assure you, I know plenty of Southern men who would rather drop dead. But if you tried it, you might like it. So don't knock something before you try it. You're always stronger than you think you are, and you always have the power to give yourself your own good fortune. You always have the power to turn your own life around. You know, if you're not working towards it, your angels can't help you level up. You've got to do something to show them that you're trying. They can't just do it all. And, you know, always remember, you know, to say, I give my angels permission to help me see clarity, to help me see the light, to communicate with me in a way that's effective for me, that helps me. If you need a sign every day, say, hey, every time my angels are with me, I'd like to see a heart, I'd like to see a flower, I'd like to see a meme. Who knows? It just depends. And make sure you're very specific. And each time you see this, make sure you say, thank you to my angels for showing me this symbol. Personally, for me, a heart would not work because I literally have hearts everywhere. But I know my angels are always with me, so I don't need a sign. I've had my life saved so many times. Even in times I didn't know I needed saving. I've almost died so many times, and not even of my own volition, because there are plenty of those. But even in like completely unexpected, crazy circumstances, that's when you know an angel is with you. That's when you know you're guided, even if you don't understand it. Because at the time I didn't always understand it, but they're always there. You have to invite them though. It's kind of like a party. Imagine you're a party. You got a whole lot going inside you, right? Might as well be a party. And if you don't got a whole lot going inside you, why aren't you excited for life? You have this moment. You're alive. What are you going to do? Have a nice snack. Have your favorite drink. Run around in circles if you got the energy. Sometimes I do that. It really depends on my mood. I really prefer just like, you know, doing other things. Like, you know, more than just running around in circles. I might like run in place as fast as I can, stop. Run in place as fast as I can, stop. It gives you nice leg muscles. I personally have never really been super strong in my legs. My arms, yes. My arms always got me. My legs, oh, I hate working out legs so much. And I hate stairs so much. Oh my god, you guys. But I still work on it. I hate every second of it. But when I look at my legs, I'm like, okay, I see you. And I keep doing it. So it's a very love-hate relationship. I gotta work hard. But when I see the results, it's beautiful. So work hard on yourself. You will see results. That's, you know, don't let people work you. Work yourself, okay? And it'll all work out. And you'll be working it, okay? Now, why is it important to receive guidance from your angels? Because they're freaking awesome. I'll start off there. Well, I gotta keep glaring. Thank you. Okay. Boom. Oh. I know I'm going to butcher saying this. So, Bake Kujara. Or Bake Kujara. Baccageria, I don't know. Curses, misfortune. Some of you feel like a curse. Some of you feel like you're cursed. Some of you feel like you're not fortunate. Some of you feel like your life sucks. I'm gonna be straight up. Just know, when you always have someone beside you, there for you, it always feels a little less lonely. And sometimes just knowing that there's a higher power there watching over you as you go through hardships, it makes it a little easier. I know through some of my most difficult times ever, I'll just look up and say, I need you to give me some kind of miracle, some kind of sign in this hour, please, because I'm giving up. I don't think I can do this anymore. I've lost everything. I feel like it's not worth it anymore. I don't feel like I can get up. Please. And I'll literally have a mental breakdown, don't get me wrong. But like, if you feel like you really need a miracle, ask for one. You'll get one. Every time I've ever said, please give me a sign, please give me a miracle in the hour, I really need it. And don't abuse that privilege. Let me just say this, because if you abuse that privilege, you're on your effing own. You're literally turning something beautiful into nothing. So don't you dare ever abuse that privilege, or there will be consequences. I've never abused my privilege. I'm not stupid enough to do this. But to those of you who would be stupid enough to take advantage of miracles, just know, instead of blessings, you're going to get some lessons, okay? And you're not going to like it. And you're going to be like, why aren't you there for me? You sound like a spoiled, rotten brat who didn't get their favorite piece of candy. You know how hard it is to make a fucking miracle? You know how much effort, time, and energy it takes, especially to give someone something in 1 hour. And don't ask for anything specific. Don't be greedy. Say, I need a sign, I need a miracle. You'll know it when you see it, it's a miracle, okay? It's not something you see every day. You'll feel it in your heart. You'll feel warmth. You'll feel joy again. So don't you ever abuse that privilege. And that's me saying this, and not even my angel saying this. I cannot stand for it. As someone who communicates to the other side, to know how they're treated is lower than low. All those people praying for bullshit. It makes me sick. You don't even deserve religion. The fact that you would abuse spirituality rather than a privilege, knowing how beautiful and how it can save lives, you would taint it. That shit makes me fucking sick. So if you're one of those people, get the fuck off my channel. You don't deserve to be here. This message is for the people who are fucking grateful for the things that they receive. Not the whiners, not the criers, not the, oh, poor me all my life. You want to be the victim, go be the victim somewhere else. You have magic inside of you. And if you're too dunce to see that, no one can show you. But when you realize you're magical, you're beautiful, you can ask for miracles, you can make them happen. That's when you know you're magical. I can ask for a miracle from my angels and they make it be. I know I'm magical. I know I'm amazing. In that moment, recognize. That's who this message is for, not for people who would use and abuse. If you're a user and abuser, you got a problem, you better go fix it. You're the problem. Sit down, shut the fuck up, go somewhere else. I don't want to hear it. I really don't. I've dealt with that my whole life. I make so much money, I don't have enough. Shut up, you make money. There are people over here stripping on the streets because they try to feed their kids. Shut up. You don't need a miracle, you just need money management. For real. Seriously. I need a miracle. I don't like my car. I need a better one. Be grateful you have a fucking car. Some people can't afford it. I don't like my house. Some people have to live on the street. Shut up. Sit down. Be humble. Calm down. Figure it out. Use your brain. Stop asking for everything. You gotta work for it. Everything in life you gotta work for. What are you willing to work on? What are you willing to work for? Ask yourself. And I really don't care if that came across judgmental, violent, cruel, whatever. That is honestly, really and truly my opinion. Now, my opinion doesn't have to be any of your business, but since you're here, that's my opinion. Every morning I wake up, I'm grateful because I have air conditioning, I have a comfy, cozy bed with whatever blankets I want, whatever pillows I chose, whatever sheets I have, and I got to sleep. I'm grateful I was able to sleep because I remember those nights I could never sleep. I stayed awake all night long, and every day I was exhausted, and still, it didn't matter if I took medication, I still could not sleep because I was tortured in my mind, in my body, and in my heart. So you're damn right, every day I wake up, I'm grateful I got sleep. I'm grateful I have a comfy, cozy bed. I'm grateful, I'm thankful, I'm blessed. And to those of you who would not recognize that, when you lose it is when you'll know. Because when you don't appreciate the things you have, why do you think you should get better? You don't deserve better. You don't even like what you have. You're ungrateful. You're never going to be grateful. Like, that shit, you really want to piss me the fuck off? That shit pisses me the fuck off. People who whine over the things they have, not the things that they should be grateful for. Every time I sit down to eat, I say, thank you for this food. I am grateful. May it nourish my body. Amen. Thank you. I'm grateful I have food. I remember when I didn't have any food. I remember starving because I had a parent who didn't feel like feeding me while the other one was at work. Or I left home because I felt like no one wanted me there and no one cared, and I was basically living off of couches and off of raw fucking ramen and possibly buttered bread. But you damn right I was grateful for that raw ramen and that buttered bread. Even through my worst times, I was grateful for what I did have. And some people here need to learn that. Some people alive need to learn that. There are some people who don't get clean water or access to clean water. They have to drink dirt water, or they have to somehow magically figure out how to create irrigation for water. You know how fucking difficult that can be when you've never read a book? Some people aren't taught how to even have their own life because they live in these countries where everything is dictated. I'm so grateful that I'm a free thinker and that I can make choices. Be grateful for what you have so you can receive more. I'm not sorry, and I'm not going to apologize for any of that. On behalf of all my angels, I say here and now, it's bullshit. Just because they don't say it doesn't mean I'm not going to say it. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it straight. It's bullshit. Now, if you're still here because you are with what I'm putting down, you picking up on what I'm putting down? Thanks for sticking around. Really, I'll be surprised if people stick around. Really, if you stuck around, give me a heart, because honestly, that's where I was speaking from, and I love hearts. They're my favorite shape, honestly. So yeah, I love hearts. They're so cute. That's why they're literally everywhere. I always have like a heart something. Like anytime I can get something in like the shape of a heart, I'm gonna do it. I really do. Like, that's always been my favorite shape. Always. So this is what the deck shows. It's not a stone, it's a shell. So keep flowing, keep going. I'm actually seeing someone put like, you know, like I think it's like a conch shell or something to their ear. When you do that, you can hear the ocean. So I'm really getting like, listen to your emotions, listen to yourself, and take a moment to just really listen. Let's take this moment together to just really listen to what it is that we're thinking and feeling. Let's do a self-care check-in. So close your eyes for a moment. How are you feeling? What are you feeling in your mind? What are you feeling in your body? What are you feeling in your spirit? What are you grateful for? What do you want to accomplish today? What is your goal today? Are you grateful that you can smile? Is your goal to just have one beautiful smile or someone smile at you? What can you let go of right now? What do you need right now to feel better? Now feel free to pause this video before you get your advice to go do whatever it is that's going to make you feel better in this moment, whether it's a drink of water, whether it's your favorite snack, whether it's a nice soft blankie, or maybe lay your head on a pillow. Just one thing that would make you feel so good right now. Go ahead and do that and come right back and I'll give you your advice. For those of you who say, actually, I'm going to do it right after this and then I'm just going to keep doing that, go for it. So, advice from the angels for my loves. Oh, that came out quick. So, we have a new day. I'm hearing that song, Find Your Tribe. I think it goes, it's a new dawn, it's a new day, and I'm feeling good. Something like that. I don't remember the rest of it. Yeah, no, it sounds kind of like static in my brain. It's hard to channel and remember like actual facts. Does that make sense? I have to switch my brain from channeling and going through all these different, how to describe it. It's like traveling. You know how you travel from Earth to another planet in a spaceship? It's kind of like that when I channel. It's like I have to go all the way over here and travel and then come back over here and then go back over there and come back over here. It's really complicated. And sometimes it makes my head hurt, not gonna lie. So, oh yeah, find your tribe wasn't really the bottom of the deck message, but maybe some of you it's time to find your tribe. Oh, embrace your sensitivity. Like I said, it's hard for my brain to work, so I was like, oh, this is bottom of the deck. Nope, that was bottom of the deck, so my bad. Embrace your sensitivity in a new day. Your feelings matter, you matter, and it's a new moment. You can be a new person. So first, well, actually, I'll bring it up to the camera. Look at the baby deer. Look at all the pretty flowers. And hey, with the glare on there, it kind of looks like the sun high up in the sky, and you can see like the sunrise or the sunset. Look how pretty. Your sensitivity is the sacred gateway to your intuition. It's that special receptive radar that picks up energy and signals. In fact, your sensitivity is one of your greatest assets and the key to your survival. The more you connect with it, the more miracles and synchronicities you'll attract. Boom. When you listen to yourself, your wants and your needs, and you recognize you're a miracle, you attract miracles from your angels, and you attract synchronicities. You attract 111, 1111. You'll see signs. Like I have that album, Angel Numbers. Whenever I see 111, I made a song that 1111, when my life is getting more fun. You know, what you could do is make up your own angel number kind of chart. You know, when you see 111, write down what you want it to mean and say, my angels, if you could please give me these signs and show me these numbers to better communicate with me, I would greatly appreciate it. I ask you wholeheartedly and humbly with gratitude. I give you all the permission you need, and I really do appreciate all that you do. Because you literally can create your own communication system with your angels. You can. So feel free to try that today. But recognize you're a miracle to create more miracles. Recognize the miracles in your everyday life so you can see the miracles when they're in front of you. A new day. With that big old sun and the farmhouse, and their crops are all aplenty. They're very abundant. Look at all the lush greenery, all the little baby flowers, all little cute sheepies. And then I think that's a hen and a rooster. Or for all I know, it's a rooster and a rooster, who knows. One thing I'm not a fan of when it comes to roosters is they wake up way before I do. And they're so loud. I once lived in like a suburban neighborhood, and there was a rooster. Somebody had a rooster, and you could hear at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and you're like, shut up. Now in my neighborhood, I make sure that when I go to sleep or whenever I'm doing something, I always have like a loud fan, or like the TV's loud or the music is loud, because like I have these neighbors down the road and their dogs never shut up ever, even at 2 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. I learned very on you cannot sleep in silence. So I moved from one noise to another. Either way though, I'm just like, it's a new day. Let go of what was in order to make room for what's to come. It may be time to release a relationship that has run its course, a job that's lost its luster, or a depleting commitment. The past is over. What's done, it's done. Acknowledge the feelings, learn from the experience, and give yourself permission to release any negative emotions or guilt. When one area of our life falls apart, new opportunities fall into place. Which is interesting because I gave an example of how to do that, well, with the whole writing down all your worries on a sheet of paper and just tearing them up and saying, I'm done with this, I'm done with it, I'm done with it. So honestly, that advice kind of touched on everything that I talked about. So there's your sign, and there's my sign that, you know, I was able to communicate very clearly and openly. And I'm so grateful for my angels, and I am so grateful for the angels that take care of everyone else. They are not always appreciated, but they are always there. They'll always be there. 1, just remember you always have to give them permission. And 2, know the difference between a dark angel and a light angel, because there are dark angels and there are light angels. And remember, angels are just like people. They really are. They have thoughts, they have feelings, and understand that when you ask for things. You know, when you don't appreciate them, they feel it. And they recognize there's no point in helping you because you don't appreciate it when they do. And that's a very real thing. I remember when I used to drive my angels literally insane, but they're super proud of me now. I used to be like one of those like bad reality TV shows watching, you're like, why are they like this? Why are they doing that? What is wrong with them? But you know, I learned, so everyone else can too. I fully believe if I'm redeemable to some extent, everyone is redeemable. Some people are not, and I'm talking about the people who actually like are kind of like born serial killers. I don't know how redeemable they are, because if as a small child you're already like that and that's your like full development and you never change, I mean, I'd like to have some kind of hope there, but for the most part it's usually not so, unfortunately. So I know some people, they're not going to live and learn, but my hope is, my faith is, for the most part, most human beings can come together and most of them can learn to be grateful and thankful and know they're blessed in whatever way is true to them. But let's take this moment and say thank you. Thank you to those beautiful angels who showed up here today. Thank you for all of this guidance. Thank you for being here with us. Your presence was so beautiful. It was magnificent. Thank you for all this knowledge, all your wisdom, and for the miracles in the moment. Anytime an angel touches your heart, it's always a miracle. Every time an angel speaks through you or to you, that's a miracle. It really is. So let us be grateful and thankful and blessed that angels exist and that they are with us all the time. Thank you. We are grateful. And hey, freaking men, honey, because sometimes we be struggling here on the struggle bus all on our own. We need somebody to help us out. We need a higher power, because Lord have mercy. This world is crazy, okay? So, thanks for showing up, loves. I appreciate you. Many blessings, loves. Thank you so much for all of your love and support. I appreciate you, all that you are, all that you do. I love you, love. Magigoddess.